A judge is always meant to make a decision in family court based on the best interest of the child. But from my personal experience, I know the child gets no say. Who talks to the child? Who stands for the child? And who's looking out for the child? An issue with our court system is that mental health is irrelevant. It's not even acknowledged, and 1 in 5 Americans have a mental illness. That's a pretty prominent number for something to be dismissed so easily. Mental health and child involvement need to be acknowledged and recognized in the courts. I've been up on the stand in a courtroom before. I know the tremendous fear a courtroom can fill one with. It's scary, especially for a child. I spilled my guts. I talked about the mental abuse I'd endured. I told the whole courtroom, father, mother, and all, about my depression. I cried a lot, and when I was done, I waited. I waited a long time for the judge to make a decision, to come up with a verdict. We lost. I lost. I didn't only lose, but I felt like my voice wasn't heard at all. I felt like I had no say. I felt hopeless, as though no one had listened to my point of view. In family court cases, there are times when the court is in charge of making decisions about who and when the child spends time with each parent. And according to the Journal of Mental Health Counseling, only 16% of child custody cases are referred to mental health experts when making these types of decisions. Only 16%. Judges are the ones who decide whether mental health professionals help them make decisions in court cases. And according to Bowen and Quinton, in 2004, judges ranked psychological testing relatively low in importance. Why are they so low? And why is mental health not a bigger deal? When judges do use mental health professionals, there are 4 ways to go about determining the mental well-being of the child. 1 is observation, 2 is home visits, 3 is collateral information, and 4 is formal assessment instruments. In observations, the counselors can set up structured or unstructured observations. In structured observations, the counselor has both the child and the parent complete a task. While they complete the task, the mental health observer takes notes. In unstructured observations, the parent gets to decide what the child and them do together. These observations allow a mental health counselor to view the parent-child relationship in motion. In home visit observations, a counselor is able to review the cleanliness and safety of the space the child spends time in. When using the method of collateral information, mental health professionals talk to people with surrounding relationships to both the child and the parent, to examine their relationships from an outside perspective. Formal assessment instruments are used for data collection and custody-related mental health evaluations. If there are so many different ways to analyze mental health, why are we not putting them to use? After all, only 16% of child custody cases are referred to mental health experts. CAFCAS, or Children and Family Court Advisory Support Service, in the United Kingdom was established in 2001. This is a program that's role is to give young people a direct say in court. According to Jennifer E. McIntosh and the Family Transition School of Public Health in Melbourne, Australia, 4 young people were invited to make 1 or 2 remarks on the topic of child inclusion in family court proceedings. Here are a few of those teens' comments. Laura's comments were, "It is vital that young people are listened to and their feelings are taken into consideration throughout the process. And she believes that as young people, innocent to the situation we have been put into, it is our thoughts, our wishes, and our feelings that are most important and first priority. What happens at the court affects our lives dramatically, and we can do very little than explain how we feel, and hope that this is taken into consideration." Ronald's comment was, The case is in pursuit of their own agenda, and consequently, that of the child is lost in the midst of it all. And finally, Sarah's comment was, the child should be the center of all that is done. Children's opinions and voices in family courts are essential to the best interest of the child. So maybe the United States should adopt a program similar to that of Kafka's. So how does one know what the best interest of the child is without talking to them? They don't. And this is a major issue. Another issue with our court system is that mental health is irrelevant. It's not even acknowledged. Mental health and child involvement need to be acknowledged and recognized in the courts.